Also,
landlords also are a scummy job.
well, hold on. It depends on the landlord.
Wait, do you have something, buddy?
What?
What's this?
Well, I'm kind of like a landlord, right? So.
Okay.
What?
No, nothing.
Does that change your opinion?
Of you? Yeah.
Now what?
Now we go on into it. We could ignore all of that creepy stuff that just happened, all of the mystery, all of the confusion that we just went through, and we can say hello to the neighbors. We got a different setup. It's just the two of us today. Kind of. We decided we wanted to bring Anthony on in spirit. So we got some ginger snaps for him. So today we have your hosts, Brayden.
And Buddy. Hi.
With a little dash of some ginger snaps. Just to have him close to us, to our hearts.
In our hearts.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side.
Look, we love you, but you got to be off camera. We got something way more.
Yeah, you need to see that we're on air. It is also ginger.
So we solved that.
We got the other one right down here. A little ginger cat. Man, that Patreon was a bit different.
Did you shake up my drink? It was like fizzing hard.
While you weren't looking.
After all that edging, I guess from the
Patreon, it was ready to burst at any moment.
All right, so what's up?
A bit. It was a weird week. Some stuff about work I can't go into, but I have earlier we said that snowplows are the world's America's laziest job.
You said that, yes.
Yeah, we all agreed unanimously that we all were like, yeah, these people
all just
suck.
said you should drive more on the freeways.
That's not how it goes in my head. I don't remember that.
Well, trauma often leads to rewriting things in your brain, I think. Or something.
Right, yeah.
I feel like you're moving the mic more.
It feels like it's in a bad spot. Like I need to... How do I unscrew this?
Lefty loosey.
Okay.
Nice. There you go. See? Mine's tilted up too.
Yeah. Okay.
The content.
The content.
So what is the laziest job in America?
It's still the snowplows. But the scummiest job in America? Tow trucks.
Oh, why?
Tow truck drivers. So earlier this week, I get a note on my car saying I have 48 hours to fix what's wrong with it, or they're going to tow my car.
Who's the note from?
It's from the towing company that my apartment complex owns. Not owns, but they employ with. They contract with.
Okay.
And I look at it. I'm like, what? And it says it's for one of two things: a missing plate or expired registration.
Okay.
And I'm like, no. What? So I give them a phone call, and this is at 7:08 p.m., right? And I call them and say, hey, I just have a couple questions about a note left on my car. They're like, okay, yeah, what is it? So I tell them, like, yeah, I got this, and it's a Hyundai, and they start looking at my car. And they're like, is it year 2022? I'm like, no, it's a 2014.
Yeah.
Right. And they can't find like my car or the note that was left on there. And after talking to them for a little bit, it turns out what they did was they saw my car, which is a green car, but the 2022 model of it. Right. And that one, when they ran the VIN, I guess, didn't have any registration.
Okay.
And for some reason, the tow truck driver was like, that is a green car that I'm looking for. And they saw mine, and they're like, obviously that's it. Right? So in their system, my car, my license plate is how we ended up finding it, was through my license plate, was registered as a different car as not having registration. So I was like, it's registered. I don't know what to tell you. And they look into it a little bit, and they're like, oh, okay, you're right. We're not going to tow your car. Sorry for the mistake on there. Right? And I'm like, no problem.
And then nothing else happened.
Then nothing else happened. Nothing at all.
It's funny, though, because I've had this joke forever where whenever I see like a green car that's like similar shape to yours, even if it's not a Hyundai, I'm like, hey, it's Brayden.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Brayden.
You know, it
And
happens.
Literally, the tow truck driver was like, hey, it's Brayden.
Yeah. They were. It happens all the time. We were talking about it at work. Apparently, my employees, when I'm just driving around town and they see a green car, that's the first thing they do. Like,
Yeah,
is that Brayden? Is that him? I get a lot of photos too from people I haven't talked to for a while. There'll just be a photo of me in my car at a stoplight. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I need to not have such a bright, noticeable car.
It is noticeable.
I need to get like a white car, you know, maybe yellow, something that's not yellow's still like.
Yellow's out
It's
there.
it's
You need,
out there,
white,
but like
black, or
bingo
gray.
isn't a game, you know. So like
What?
bingo,
Bingo is a game.
yeah, like because there's so many yellow cars out there, people still will. I feel like yellow can still be like different enough, but it's common enough to not.
Why do you need to be different?
I need to express myself.
And you're yellow?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, yellow and white are the same. You've seen The Simpsons.
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 The Samsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
So
Okay. So the next
they're
day,
not going to tow your car.
yeah, they're not going to
Got
tow
it.
my car. Next day, I come home, everything's fine. I go work out, and I'm like, "Whew, that was good. I'm gonna go get some food." So I walk over to where my car should be, and there's no car there.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, "Yep, somebody stole my car, or the tow company took it." So I give them a call, right? And I was like, "Hey, quick question on a Hyundai that I think might have been towed. Do you guys have it?" And it's the same girl I talked to just literally the day before, right? And she immediately gets a little frantic. Like, she immediately knows, uh-oh,
Yeah.
something happened. I hope he doesn't remember who I am, because she asks, was it a male or a female that helped you out? I was like, female.
It was you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Which one are you?
Yeah.
'Cause that's the one.
And she goes, okay, so we do have it. I need to go through, and we record all of our calls. So you called from this number here? And I said, yep. And I repeated it to her. She said, okay. So I'll have to go back and listen to that. And then I can get a hold of management, and we can get that returned to you if what you say that we weren't going to take it is true. And I'm like, for sure. So just, you know, it's a 6-minute and 25-second call at 7:08 p.m. yesterday. So what's the turnaround on that?
Where the fuck is my car?
Yeah, I'm like, when am I going to know? Like, you're going to look it up right now, and it's going to take you 6 minutes to listen, and then you're going to do a 10-minute call with your supervisor? Am I going to get a call in 20 minutes? And she's like, well, you know, between different phone calls and needing to listen to the video, I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. And I was like, no, like what's, like, when should I get a call back from you? And if I don't get one, when am I calling you back? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't just take my car and be like,
just
it'll be whatever.
You should be like, I am calling back every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
That happens later on.
Oh, okay.
I tell him that.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, 45 minutes should be good. I'm like, cool. So I sit there and I wait. 45 minutes goes by, and I'm like, she could be in a call, right? An hour and like 10, 15 around there goes. It might have been an hour and 20. And I'm like, okay. So I call. And I could put on hold immediately. And I'm on hold for 27 minutes.
Jesus.
And then the hold ends, and I hear the old school phones going to be hung up, but they missed the first time and they hit the edge. So I hear the and then it disconnects, and I get hung up on.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. At this point, you know, I called him at 10. It's now 11:20, and I'm like, oh, well, at this point, it's 11:50, just about. So I call him back, and I'm on hold again for like another 17 minutes. And then they get back, and I say, hey, I just have a question about a Hyundai that was taken. And she goes, oh, yeah, I was just barely about to call you back. I'm like, no, you weren't, because this was the next call in the queue, and you answered it. So
why are you answering the next call?
yeah, you weren't going to do that. And I was like, right. So did you listen?
She's just like the worst liar.
Yeah. So I was like, did you listen to the call? She's like, oh, I wasn't able to yet, but I just want to call and give you an update of where we're at. I've just been so swamped today. It's been call after call after call. And I was like,
yeah, because you're taking a lot of cars you're not supposed to be taking, probably.
Yeah. And I was like, that's cool. I get that work can be stressful. You didn't take my car. I'm not mad at you. I just want my car back. I was going to go get food. I was going to drive down and go get some stuff. It's now midnight. So I just want my car back. And she's like, okay, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and listen to that right now. And I just, I didn't call earlier at first because like it's getting late and I don't want to wake you up. I'm like, okay, so earlier you said you were about to get up, but whatever, right? And I was like, you can call me whenever, right? I stay up way too late in general, and then with my job, I get called all the time in the middle of the night. Like, as soon as you figure it out and you have an update for me, just give me a call. I don't care the time. She's like, okay, I'll do that. Thank you. Sorry. And I was like, it's cool. Hang up. I get a call back at like almost 3 a.m. She goes, hey, I'm so sorry to call you. You just said that as soon as I have an update, we'll give you a call. So I was able to listen back to the thing. And you're right. We said we shouldn't take your car. We weren't going to. So I'll have to get a hold of management. But it is the middle of the night now. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I won't be able to do that. But when I get off of, like, I'll do it in the morning. And even when I'm off of work, I'll make sure that they're aware of this and it's going on. And I was like, awesome, thank you. And they tell me their name. And I'm like, cool, I have to remember that name. So I wake up next morning, right? And I'm like, well, I guess I should go check and see if my car is there. Walk outside. It's not there. My car's not there.
Well, they're not going to bring it back.
Right. So I give them a call. I'm like, hey, I just have a question on this car. And I just want to know, like, what's going on with it. And the person I talked to was like, oh, yeah, we don't do that. I don't have any, like, notes on here saying to release it with no fee. So you'll have to get a hold of the management. And I'm like, cool. Can I get the information to get a hold of management? Oh, no. Like the facility was taken from. I'm like, so you're telling me that the mistake you did, in order to get it resolved, I have to get a hold of the management of my apartment complex to get a hold of your management to get it returned? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. I'll do that. Right. So I end the call and I call my apartment complex. I'm like, hey, so the towing company that you guys contract with took my car wrongfully. And they said that in order to do this, I need to reach out to you guys, and either an accountant or management needs to agree to release it free of charge. And they're like, okay,
I don't know why that would be
a thing.
Your apartment's like,
yeah,
but
right. And they're like, okay, so I'll go ahead and send an email to my manager about this, and we'll see what we can do. And I said, okay, what's the turnaround on that? Right? And they're like, oh, well, it's the weekend, so probably on Monday. And I was like, okay, so that's not an acceptable answer for me because I kind of need my car.
Yeah.
And it was taken wrongfully. Right now, if this was something that was taken and I just need a little help and it was something that's my fault, I would get it. Can you give them a call? Can you give me a contact information for them? Like, no, we don't do it that way. I'm like, okay, so here's the situation. I explain it to them again. I'm like, my car was taken. What's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, well, I guess I can give them a call and see what I can do then on my end. And I said, okay, cool. And when should I expect a call from you? She's like, oh, I'm not really sure. I'm like, okay, so are you going to call them right after this phone call? Like, what's your plan? Because I need to know when I should expect to have my car back. And she goes, okay, yeah, I'll call them back right after this. And I said, okay, cool. And if I don't get a call from you, I'll call back like 30 minutes. Is that good? Or like, should I walk down to the main office and see what the update is? She's like, no, I'll just give him a call right now and I'll give you a call back. And like 20 minutes later, I get a call back and she said, yeah, so it looks like it was taken for this reason. I'm like,
did you listen to me at all?
That's I know why it was taken, but it was wrong. And they're like, okay, so with that's not in our hands, right? Because we didn't mess up. We didn't tell them to take the car. So you have to call them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll call them.
Okay, pause.
So I'm getting back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the original idea behind this? Your apartment complex notices a car is out of date, so they report to the towing company? Or what like?
So what happened was the towing agency was going through and running VINs on all the cars.
Okay, so they're just like patrolling the lot.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay.
And they found this, right? Which I looked up my lease, yeah. And for what I got towed for and what the lease says I can get towed for don't line up.
Right.
They're not the same. So I was getting ready to call him like, hey, my car's in there. I'll gladly go like pay to get it out. But since this was taken from your contract, the company you contract wrongfully and it's against the lease, I expect to have that money taken out of my next due, the 100, because it was like 145 release charge. And then it was a weekend. So it was another $45. And then I was like, the Uber to get down there. I'm like, I'll do it, but I don't expect to.
Right. You should get reimbursed.
Right. Yeah. But before then, they called me and they said, hey, that's not on us. You have to get a hold of them. So I call back and I talk to somebody else this time. I say, hey, from the very get-go, this is what happened. I spoke to this person at this time at, what's going on. And she said, okay, so if what you're saying is true, we'll have to get a hold of management. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a call back in 30 minutes because it's this phone number, this time, and it's a 6-minute call. And I want to know what's going to happen with my car. She said, okay, yeah, we'll get that figured out. And then I call back in 30 minutes. And she goes, oh, yeah, the phone number you called from last time didn't show any records of you calling. And I'm like, it's the same phone number. I called you from the same phone number. And that's why I'm getting a little, upset,
If you want to listen to this other phone call where I called in, someone tells me that they listened to the phone call that you're saying doesn't exist.
Yeah. And I was like, I was told you guys record everything, and it's this time, it's this length. I also called it this time and this time. She said, okay, I guess we'll run it underneath that phone number. I said, okay, well, real quick, before you end the call, I want confirmation that you found this call log before we end the call. She said, well, I'm not going to listen to it with you on the line. I'm like, that's cool. I don't care if you listen to it on the line. I want confirmation that you found it. Right? I know you record it, and I want confirmation from you on the recorded line that you found the call I'm talking about. She said, okay. So what's the phone number I'm running? I'm like, it's the one I'm calling from. And I gave it to her again. And she said, okay, so it looks like you've called quite a bit recently. I'm like, yep, I have. I called it this time, this time, this time. The only one that matters, though, is the one at 7:08 p.m. If you want, you can look at the one that I called at 11 something, and I was on hold. And if you want, you can do the one that's like 11:50, and that one only lasts a couple of 2 minutes. Really matter.
Where they said they listened to it.
Yeah. And she said, okay. And I said, awesome. I'm going to give a call back in 30 minutes so we can see what the update is, right? And they do that one, and then luckily they gave me a call back. And yeah, so I listened to it. You're right. We shouldn't have taken it. I'll go ahead and I talked to management, and they said that we can release it. So it's just at our Murray parking lot. You can come down and get it, and we'll release it to you free of charge. And I was like, okay, so you took my car, and now you're telling me I have to buy an Uber to go get my car that you took, and you're not going to bring it back to me. She said, hey, I mean, I get that it's frustrating. We're just really busy right now. I'm like, yeah. I mean, can you guys pay for the Uber? And I'll gladly go down there. Like, well, let me call the driver and see what I can do. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll see. You'll give me a call back 10 minutes? They're like, yeah. So they give me a call back. I'm like, okay. So I talked to the driver. He can take it to you right now. I'm like,
crazy.
Thanks. Thank you. That's great. So then they bring it down, and it's fine, and I have my car back.
Dang it. I was really hoping that they bring you
the
green cards that they were supposed to tow.
Yeah, they bring me the 2022 version.
Like, all right, here's your car. And you're like, what?
Nope. See, you did it again. You did it again. So that was crazy.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was a good probably 16 hours of me just
that's so frustrating. Because
can I get my car?
Even aside from the fact that it was wrongly towed and all that stuff, and then they ended up not charging you, which of course, it's even if you reimburse the Uber or whatever, it's you're still wasting a day of my time.
Yeah.
I like the one dude that you called, and it was just talk to your apartment.
Yeah. And I was like,
I don't want to deal with this again.
Okay.
You're the 10th person that's called about this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh man, it was frustrating, but
that would kill me.
Yeah, we'll see if I ever. They told me when I last said, well, we'll see what we can do to kind of make up for this, which they're not gonna do anything. But if I ever get towed in the future from them, I have some hey, so in the past, can I get a discount for the whatever? I hope I don't get towed, but
now you can let your registration go, and I mean.
Yeah.
You can get it out for free.
Right, yeah. Oh, man, that was...
So my brother had car trouble recently.
Oh, I understand. So my brother, he's a tow truck driver.
So he came up, him and his wife came up to visit, this is a week ago. And they were because they both used to live up here, and she was raised up here or whatever. Ooh. So they were going to visit all the friends and me. They come up.
What, you're not one of the...
All the friends and me.
Yeah.
I'm the brother.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get to be a friend. You get to be a...
They got a 6-month-old baby, right?
Okay.
So this is the first time they've traveled in a while.
How many weeks is that?
Why would I measure in weeks?
I thought weeks...
6 times 4. You do the math.
24.
There you go. That's months. Wait. I don't know how weeks work. No, that's 6 times 4. Yep, we're good. Okay. All right. You broke me. This is why I do months. Yeah, it was
How many
72
days
weeks.
is that?
6 times 4 times 7.
I was just thinking like half a year. So 365 divided by 2.
You can't divide 365 by 2. It's an odd number.
What, you get a 0.5, you get a decimal.
What?
Or a fraction.
How do those work? Someone who doesn't understand math. Me.
Buddy.
So they're coming up on a Thursday, and then we were supposed to hang out Friday or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they come up, and then he calls me. He's like, hey, we're supposed to hang out the night they get up. And he's like, hey, it's probably not going to work out tonight because my car is having trouble. And we broke down in, like, a city, like, an hour away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, good luck. I don't know. Just let me know.
Mm.
They end up getting up here, like, really late at night. Sleep. We hang out the next day.
Mm.
And so he's coordinating with me on, like, they have a hotel room for the weekend. They have to check out on Monday. But the whole time his car's in the shop.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, like, if you need to, you could, like, borrow my car or whatever, or I can drive you around. Because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was like...
Why did you say it with a smile at the end? Did you not believe it?
No, I am.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a super nice guy. I just charged him a little bit.
I mean, like, he just had to pay for the gas and the mileage and, like, any general wear and tear that was on there.
I just used the U-Haul contract and just made him fill it out. But so it's like whatever, and they get up here, he checks it into the shop, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be like a $10,000 fix because it's like you need a new engine.
Yeah, so a small
and
fix.
This and that and the other. And so he's like, oh God, like he got the car used for like $10,000.
Yeah, just like
a few
get
years
a new
ago.
one.
Yeah. But I mean, he still has to pay off the rest of it.
True.
So he's like, actually though, I'm paying for a warranty from the dealership that he bought it from.
Okay, so it wasn't.
So he's like, I wonder if it's going to be covered. So he calls them and they're like, okay, give us, all this information on the car, what the shop says needs to be fixed, and we'll see if the warranty covers it. It's going to take 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'm in a different city, kind of stranded with my family. If you could hurry that up, it would be great. They're like, okay, we'll try. And so it's like, get to like Sunday, and he's doing what you're doing with this tow truck company. He's calling, trying to get updates.
Yeah, just a bug.
And so he calls like after the 2-day mark. He's like, hey, just wondering like if you've heard back yet. And they're like, it looks like they never sent over the paperwork to the dealership to see if it's covered. So I'll get that sent out, and it's going to take about 1 to 2 days for us to hear back. He's like,
again?
That's what you said 1 to 2 days ago. I'm supposed to be leaving tomorrow. Can you, like, it's already been hard enough having to deal with being in a different city with the newborn, whatever. And he's like, or at least could they cover a rental car or something?
Yeah.
And so they wanted to do another we can do. We'll try, whatever. Here's back. Like 2 days later. So at this point, he's like, okay, he's taking just like time off from work. They're stuck up here.
Yeah.
Luckily, my apartment was empty. So they stayed there.
He didn't have to pay for a hotel.
Yeah. So that was actually super helpful for them because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. You keep smiling when you say that, is there? You're giving him real like subtle Wilbur Soot vibes here.
Yeah. Just drop all emotion.
Do you need the glasses?
I'm always glasses free, Wilbur.
You're always mad.
So, also, my sister-in-law and the baby both get like sick.
Oh,
like, cold sick.
Yeah.
So they're stuck quarantining, and I'm like, well, this would have been a good chance to like visit you guys a ton, but now I don't want to. So they're living in my apartment, and it's like, yeah, instead of the 1 to 2 days to figure out if it's covered, and then it's about 2 full days of labor to fix. So they find out it's covered, luckily.
All of it?
Oh, sorry. Right before they find out it's covered, the dealership he bought it from calls him, and they're like, hey, it looks like you're trying to figure out if your car is covered or whatever, and we just wanted to like try and maybe help save you a little bit of stress or whatever, and we'll offer to buy the car back from you
at a discount.
And he's like, yeah, we could offer like $2,000 or $3,000, which is not quite as much that he has left on the loan for the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if you're just trying to like help me out and stuff, like, does this offer still stand if it is covered by the warranty, or if it isn't covered by the warranty? He's like, no, at that point we'd probably have to offer you something substantially less. And he's like, Okay, so it's probably covered by the warranty, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be trying to buy.
Yeah, like you're not going to try to buy it unless the warranty is going to make you pay more.
I just love it. He's described it. Yeah, he's like, yeah, we're just trying to help you guys out, you know? And it's like, yeah, car salesman, the classic looking out for you, trying to save you money type of guys.
Right. Car salesman might be a more scummy, like a dealership might
That's
be
what
more
I thought
scummy.
you were going to say.
Yeah, than a tow truck.
Yeah.
Because at least a tow truck legally needs to give you a warning that they're going to take it, right?
Do they?
If they're going to do like what they did to me, right? At least in our state, I think they have to give you a 24-hour notice at least.
I don't know.
Unless it's...
JD's car got towed just out of nowhere.
Really?
Well, like she had left it in like a Walmart parking lot. So there they don't have to give you notice, I don't think.
Right.
Which is crazy. Because,
Unless it was...
Who cares?
Yeah, there's some weird abandoned laws. I think you have to it has to be abandoned for 24 hours before they can tow it or something.
No, this was like literally overnight.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Maybe not then. Maybe not.
But so then he waits. He's still able to use my car, which is nice. They visit. I help coordinate. And then he calls the shop or whatever. He's like, okay, I'm just wondering, like, it's been the other 2 days or whatever. Is my how long until my car done? They're like, oh, we're about to start on it. So he just texted me one day. He's like, hey, we're just leaving. I'll come back up and get my car later. He's like, yeah, it's hilarious.
That's crazy. Yeah, so it's gonna take 2 days to fix. But we're not gonna start it today. We'll
1 to 2 days to find out if it's covered by the warranty, and then 2 days of labor turned into like a week and a half of back and forth calling the dealership. And it was like the same type of thing where he's calling, and they're like, yeah, we'll try our best, we'll look into it. And we never got that sent over, and so they were starting to get mad at him, and he's like, I'm stuck in a different city, missing work with my family because you guys are. Things take time or whatever, but like you're not even submitting it.
I love that. 2 days of labor. Whenever we want to start on the
yeah,
it's not gonna be done in
so
2 days.
frustrating.
That's crazy. That happened this last week.
This was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Okay, I was say because I had another instance that I had something very similar where at work somebody was supposed to do something that affected everybody at work, and I found out when we submitted it on Friday, they didn't process it, and then Tuesday comes around. I'm like, hey. What's going on? Oh yeah, we'll process it. And then that night, they still didn't process it. Just like another.
I just don't understand.
It's just a button. You just gotta say go.
It's like literally, what are you doing that's more important than the thing that is obviously very time sensitive?
Right? Yeah. It was. I don't know.
I love your. I was just about to call you, and then 3 minutes later in the call, well, I was gonna call you earlier, but I didn't want to wake you up.
Yeah, because it's getting late. I'm like,
I'm so confused.
It's like midnight. I don't.
You're like a child lying to me.
Yeah.
Telling on yourself halfway through the lie.
Yeah.
Like,
it was. I don't know. I get like being in the customer service field. I get that it can be stressful, and like I could have very easily just been an asshole. Right? I could have very easily just been a jerk, been yelling, been mad, and that would suck for the person. And they're trying to avoid that, but at the same time, the way they were avoiding it was just making it more frustrating. Yeah, you know.
I don't know. It's
like if they would just be like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. I'm the only one here tonight, so I have to take all the calls. I've pulled it up. I haven't been able to chance to listen to it yet because the calls keep coming in. But you know, like, I would have understood that. But the lies, I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I get it. It's really dumb. But can you? Because you even said the contract you signed says like, hey, just so you know, we can tow your car under these like reasons, and yours was towed for not that reason. Like, can you pursue any?
I don't think so because
I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm just curious.
Right,
like,
I don't think I can because the apartment complex didn't order the tow. If they were the ones that ordered it, right, then it'd be different because I think the stipulation there is we can tow your car for this versus the towing company just doing it.
But can a towing company even legally do that? That doesn't seem right to me.
I don't know.
Because I think my understanding is the only reason like a tow company can just like tow your car is because you're on a private lot where the company, the person who owns that lot gives them permission to do that.
Right. That's another thing that's really weird to me. Like even if my expiration was or my registration was expired, I pay for that parking spot. Why does it matter?
Yeah.
It's not being used by anybody else.
That's why I was surprised when you said the apartment gives you a heads up that they can tow for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Oh. Carbonation.
Yeah, you broke for a second. You got reset.
I did. Well, because then my brain short circuited trying to think of the word for the bubbly stuff.
You know the bubbly thing in your belly, the kind of
air liquid in me.
Liquid air.
I put air in me.
Yeah.
They give you reasons, and just with how apartments are able to structure their leases and stuff, it just feels like they should be like, just so you know, we can tow you whenever. Like, I could totally see them putting that in and just.
I don't know. I had. The apartment complex, like they don't listen. I don't mind living here, right? They're really cool with the cat situation. I like some of the amenities. It's not too bad here. I don't really have too many bad things happening. Dealing with the management though has been frustrating. Like there was one time where I gave them a call. I went on vacation and I got a hotel for a couple of days, and it cost a certain amount of money, right? It was like $500 for the time that I was there. They required a $200 like a hold fee. That way, if I broke anything, they would just take the $200, right?
Yeah, like a safety deposit type thing.
So I paid for it there, and then what they didn't tell me is that when I paid there, they were also running another security deposit through the website I went on. So I had rent due in like 2 days after I got there, and I went to go pay rent, and I was like, why am I short like $1,300? And it's because I paid the $500. They took the 200 and something out, and then they took another 500 plus the security out from the online terminal. And I was like, what's going on? I just like all of a sudden my account went from here to like here, and I'm like, what? So I call my apartment complex. I'm like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm trying to get this sorted. I called them. They apologized, and they're going to get it refunded. I don't like. I'm missing like $200 for rent right now because they took everything. Like, can I? What can I do here to like make any plans? Is there any way I can do this? Because it's not really my fault. Can we do something? Oh yeah, we'll get back to you. I'm like, cool. And then they never got back to me, so I kept calling and I couldn't get a hold of them. Like they just weren't answering. And then finally they like sent me a bill like, hey, you were late, so you have to pay an extra $200. I'm like, what? So I had to go to the office and talk to the management, and it was just a whole headache. There.
But also,
landlords also are a scummy job.
Well, hold on. It depends on the landlord.
Wait, do you have something, buddy?
What?
What's this?
Well, I'm kind of like a landlord, right? So.
Okay.
What?
No, nothing.
Does that change your opinion?
Of you? Yeah.
Oh, I like to think I'm a good landlord.
Yeah. Do you
just like I'm a good person?
Just like you're a nice guy and you don't finish last, right?
No.
Yeah.
Finish first.
It's
a race.
It is a race. Yeah. You want to get gold.
Yeah. But no, it was kind of funny. My brother was like trying to be all apologetic, like, oh, like I feel bad using your car and using your apartment. I'm like, my apartment literally not being used.
It's just a storage unit right now.
And so he's like, I cleaned it all up or whatever, and I washed your bedding, and I like, what's your Venmo so I can send you money? I was like, bro, you just like got fucked over.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I thought you were gonna be like, so you use my water bill? You increased my water bill?
What? Dude, they had my thermostat set to like 78. I was like, are you guys okay?
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like mine routinely is between 73 and 75. 78 is a lot.
I set mine to 68.
68? Mm-hmm. 68 is low.
It's 2 degrees. It's closer to room temperature than yours.
Yeah, it's cold. I don't know. I was told, I think going lower than like 66 degrees is dangerous because for the pipes.
No.
Yeah.
No, because when you leave for like out of town trips and stuff, you're supposed to leave it on like, I want to say like 62 or something.
Really?
Because like you're pretty far away from freezing.
Yeah.
I don't know actually. I wonder because I think my thermostat right now is set to like 50 something.
50? Well, at your apartment?
Yeah, because I'm not using it. I don't want to pay for heat if I'm not using it.
Man.
Plus, it's like apartments connected to other things, so like it gets residual heat, I think, right? How does that work?
But you also like get so much cold from the one side, from the outside.
I did point that out to them. I was like, I wonder if you're extra cold because you're sitting next to like the big window area.
Oh, is that where they spend
if you go into the room,
yeah,
and they eventually like set up the TV and stuff in the room for them.
Oh, nice.
And stuff. Yeah.
They all moved over. So when we were playing basketball, which Buddy destroyed, it was so bad. It was
I had to
so
make up
bad.
for last week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I beat him last week pretty like easily, but this week, I don't know, man. He couldn't miss. He could not miss.
It was hard. I tried throwing it the other way. It just went in.
You said something about somebody that killed themselves, or you asked me if I heard about.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what temperature, but this is way more important.
Yeah, someone.
We'll just assume I'm right.
Okay.
I don't remember what I said, but I'm right. A week or two ago or something. Don't undermine me. I'll raise your rent.
I'll raise. Wait, you're my.
I'll report your car again.
I think that no, I wondered at first if that's what happened because
Someone
there was.
like,
Yeah, well, the back of my car has a dent in it from several years back, and I backed into my parking spot. And somebody new moved to the apartment complex, or they got a new car or something, and the spot behind me is a new car, and it looks like a nicer car.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I was backing into my spot, and as I was backing in, I saw them like stop and just like stare at me for a minute.
they're like, this guy's obviously not the best at reversing.
Right. And then when I got the notice, I was like, did somebody like do some sort of weird like report on my car
And they
or
can't
something?
force you to fix your like dent.
Right. So I was wondering if they're just like, I don't know, trying to be. I didn't know. But when I found out that it was for registration, it was a false car. I realized.
You should actually though, like take a picture of this person, the front of their car or something.
Oh yeah, just in case.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Like,
That's smart.
or take a very clear picture of yours to be like, look, this dent's been there forever. I did not increase it by backing into them. In case they try something weird. I don't know. Like, what if they rear end someone and then they
blame? Yeah.
Try to blame it on you backing into them.
Mm-hmm. There's rust on the part that's on there, so I can. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Oh wait, what if they just crashed into the back of your car?
Yeah.
And they're like, look, he backed into me. That's proof he was already dented.
Oh, man. I don't know. I have a dash cam that is motion activated. So if they did that, it would turn on and record that something happened. That's good. It unfortunately doesn't show the back. I don't
Less smart.
I only have the front,
Idiot.
but
yeah. You're. I guess it would still prove that like
I got hit.
It turned on while the car was not running.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would show before and after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember my fun story with my dash cam?
No.
Jesus.
Yeah. Christ.
I've told
Jesus.
it on the pod before, so I'll sum it up. I got a dash cam front and back, right?
Yeah.
And it plugs into the cigarette lighter. And it's supposed to be like, hey, when there's motion or whatever, even if the car's off, it'll turn on and record for like 30 seconds or whatever. It was all good, and then I tried to get in my car one time. Battery's completely dead.
Okay.
Battery's completely dead.
Yeah.
So, because I have a fob, I'm like, oh wait, I can pop the thing out of the fob and actually use a physical key for
New Age.
just this scenario. It's the only time I used the actual key. This was the time when my car got broken into and my lock was completely busted.
Somebody like screwdrivered the lock. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to call a locksmith to get into my car
they're
to
so
pop
expensive.
the hood
They're
so that
scams
I could
too.
charge my battery. Literally, it's like 30 full seconds of work, and they charge you like $100.
Yeah.
It's like, bro. So I did that. I didn't piece together why my battery was dead because I had the dash cam in there for a minute. So it wasn't like I installed it in the next day.
Yeah.
But it was like I didn't drive my car for like 2 days straight, so it killed it. So I get that, get it charged up, take it to the dealer shop, get that fixed, get my keyhole fixed. I was like, I don't want this happening again. Because at the time I was like, why do I need to fix my keyhole?
Yeah, I remember this part, like the dying. I didn't remember the dash cam.
So,
but it was a minute.
Like the next week or whatever, battery died again. I was like, what the fuck? This should be like a somewhat new battery. So I talked to the shop. I'm like, hey, kind of bought this from you like within the last year, so it shouldn't be dead yet, right? And they're like, no, something's wrong.
Yeah, because usually have like 3-year warranties or something.
Yeah, so
or guarantees.
They're like, yeah, if it's a defective battery, we'll just replace it for free. And so they plug in their magic, whatever. Jeez, you don't have to be that disappointed. That's where the cats get it from.
No, I've been learning from them.
So they plug in something to trace, and they're like, "Oh, you have a I don't even want to guess, but some amount of some unit of electricity draw
yeah,
on
like
your battery.
2.5 kilowatts of draw.
Yeah, they're like basically something's draining your battery. And we unplugged your dash cam, and it stopped drawing. So I found out that it was the dash cam. So I've had my dash cam in my car, but it's not been hooked up. So it looks like I'm recording you, but I'm not.
Good to know.
That information.
So if you ever see
but with my brother using my car, they have like they attach a little camera to the car seat so that they can both ride up front, but they have a little TV they put and they can check on the baby from there, which is really cool. I never thought about that. And then they left the car, and then he had to run down to get something, and he like opened the door to get something, and the camera was still going. So I'm pretty sure it's actually not the dash cam. It's my cigarette lighter continuously powers the thing even when the car's off.
Weird.
Like it always runs.
Yeah, there's
he
some
said
sort
in
of wiring.
his car it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know how you would go about fixing that, but yeah, so I might actually be able to use my dash cam at some point if I
get that fixed, figure out what's wrong with it. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why it would draw. I'm not a car guy.
My thought was the whatever functionality is that says, "Hey, there's motion record," was just like always going on.
Yeah.
And so I was like, one day I'll figure out how to fix that. But now that my brother used my car and found that out, I have to figure out how to fix my cigarette lighter, I guess. I don't know. But so
the guy that killed himself.
The guy that killed himself.
Yeah.
He's like he's in Air Force or something. He's like whatever. He was like 25.
Okay.
And he went in front of an embassy or something in the U.S. and self-immolated to...
He did it when he was in the U.S. or was it out of country? He went to a U.S. embassy?
Pretty sure he was in the U.S. No. Okay. So he was protesting our allowance or support or whatever of the whole Israel thing. Okay. And so he was trying to bring awareness to Palestine and their plight and how horrible they're treated and get the U.S. to change what they do. Even though I'm pretty sure we also fund Gaza.
We do.
I think we fund both sides. But so he immolated. He ended up dying, and it's been polarizing a little bit on how people feel about it.
Interesting.
How do you feel about protesting by self-immolation?
I appreciate his passion. It's not going to make a change at all.
No.
Which is sad. All it's going to do is cause more suffering and division. I like the passion. I think he could have channeled it differently, and it's sad that he's done his thing. But I think it's somewhat counterintuitive to what he wanted to have happen.
It seems so dumb. Like I don't want to disrespect someone dying, but like also, like literally the outcome that happened from it is whatever side of politics or group whatever has one less voter that would fight for Palestine then. Like
right.
It's literally the only change. I mean, there is some awareness. I know that some people in like Palestine or Gaza or whatever it's called have like put up pictures of him and like some colleges have put it. But like it's also like it's already the most like talked about thing in politics the last like however many months.
Right.
So it's not like he's bringing more awareness to it, I feel like.
Yeah. He made people that are on that side feel like this is a hero type of moment, but his friends, his family, so much grief, and then the other side's now like, see, these people are crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's so counterintuitive for what he wanted to actually have happen.
It just seems so dumb, yeah. Like, and he's young. He was very young. He seemed to have a decent like job and all that. And it's like all the counter examples I've seen online of people defending it is like, yeah, but what about this protest where this guy in India did it or whatever? It's like, hey, that guy was like 70 something.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like more like, yeah, he's throwing away 10 years maybe.
But even like in any case, I don't think I support the like unaliving in Minecraft of yourself for a protest, because what that tells me is you have very strong emotions about this and you want it to change, and you think, unfortunately, that to the government or governing body, your life matters to them.
Nope.
But when you do that, they're like, that's one less headache I have to deal with now.
It's literally like the government's not going to change anything.
right.
The only reason the government changes policies is to get reelected, right?
Yeah.
And they can't get reelected by dead people.
Yeah.
Unless you believe in the 2020 election stuff.
True. I saw a tweet. This person's like, the day before the deadline to get their ballot, they changed their, it was like their name, or they changed the way they wanted to do the voting. Mm-hmm. But whatever happened, they ended up getting 2 ballots sent to them. Mm-hmm. And they tried saying, see, this is proof that the voting is faked. Mm-hmm. And then the local government responded like, no. So the way our system works is, if you notice on your 2 pieces of mail, one of them on the long barcodes and end in a 1.
It was different addresses.
Oh, was it what was?
It was different addresses. They changed their address. And so but because of mail forwarding, they got both of them eventually. Yeah. And they're like, I noticed how you had to censor out different lengths for the addresses. That's because you changed your address, blah, blah, blah. And then the code on the ballot was like, see, you have to only submit 2, because once we've registered that you have 2, even if you reported both of them, our system automatically rejects the 1.
Number 1, yeah. And
that was awesome.
Right.
I love that they tried to call them out, and the government was just immediately like,
no.
Here is step by step why this doesn't let you vote twice, why it's partially your fault that there's any sort of confusion anyway because you changed your address so late, and how like we have this all under control.
Yeah, like we're good. We know what we're doing. This is Loctite.
There's kind of a reason why they investigated like a crazy amount for 2020 and didn't find anything that would like,
because it's a Loctite system. I mean. That's another crazy thing for where we're at. Like, our state has one of the best mail-in systems, and people are just so against it. And it made effects this year for mail-in for the caucus we just had. There was something, I don't remember what it was, but there was something about mail-in ballots for it. Unfortunately, I don't fully remember what it was, so I can't talk on it too much. I can talk about one thing though, about the guy who did that in front of the embassy. I saw a sticker. This doesn't really relate to him at all. It's just connection from that. It was recover loudly so others don't suffer in silence.
Okay.
And I looked at that and I was like, what? Hold on. What? So I should be going around if I'm depressed and telling everybody, I'm doing so much better. I don't have depression anymore. I'm great. I succeed in life. I've been making my money. I'm the best. And so that other people feel worse? What's it supposed to do?
If you like try to interpret it the best way, it's probably like show that like, hey, I was suffering too, and I actually worked through it, and like so anyone can do it. Anything's possible.
Right.
Unicorns.
It's probably how it's meant to be done. But
I like your version better though.
Yeah, it's the recover loudly, right? Like you're in the process of recovering.
I see.
So it's like, I don't know. It was a weird one. It was like, show how much better you are than them. Let them suffer in noise. It wasn't so they suffer in silence. Like, you still want them to suffer. You know, it's not help those.
Suffer in noise. I like that. Should we start a counter movement?
Yeah.
Brag about overcoming those bitch ass losers. You're so much better than everyone.
Yeah, let others know how much better you are, and that they can be just like you if they buy your 7-week program. Man.
Become a creator and talk about how you recovered.
Yeah.
And shame your audience into recovering better because they suck.
Because they're the worst.
Kind of related to the conspiracy thing. Do you hear about the guy who got over 200 COVID vaccines?
No, that's so many. Why?
I don't
he just likes the
fully understand
jab?
why he did it. It was like in the UK, I think. And he got like, I saw the numbers broken down of like a bunch of doses of like each of the Pfizer, the Moderna, and another one.
The J&J?
I think he got J&J too.
Right. Okay.
So it was like, he got all of them, dozens and dozens of doses of each of them, to the point where he was actually going in like multiple times a day to get them.
Yeah.
And so over the course of like 2 years or whatever it was, he got He averaged more than one vaccination per day.
And now he can like just give people COVID. Like he's COVID man.
No, because like the big story with it is like all the medical experts and stuff are like, hey, don't do this.
Yeah,
it's really dumb. But also, if you do, they went and like took samples of his blood and everything to see how his immune system reacts and stuff. And it's basically like after the third dose, it doesn't like give you better.
It just cycles through your system essentially.
Well, just like. Because the point of the vaccine, right, is to train your immune system to like, hey, when you see this cell or this type of cell or whatever, generate these responses.
Yeah.
It's like, it already knows how to do it. So all your repeated vaccinations are kind of pointless.
Yeah.
But I just love that it should, in a reasonable world, completely destroy the whole vaccines are dangerous thing. Because like, he would be
fucked.
Did you see there's like a documentary, quote unquote. I know you hate quotes, but it's appropriate. Yeah. I think it's called Died Suddenly. And it's a collection of the whole, just kind of like the feeling of a conspiracy of people reporting on Twitter and headlines and stuff. It's like, oh, this young person died randomly, huh? And people are like, were they vaxxed? Vaxxed, question mark? It's a bunch of cases like that, and they get a bunch of coroners that are like, look at all this weird stuff we found in their blood. And it's like long bits of like rubbery tubing thing. It's really weird.
Yeah, because the vaccine made rubber appear out of nowhere inside your body.
The conspiracy is that it's making weird stuff in your blood, and people are dying from like blood clots and stuff because of the vaccine.
Okay.
It's like this dude's blood would have been like solid.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Yeah, he would have. You can't cut through his arm. That's okay. I saw a headline. I think it was like 2 days ago. And it was Canadian Health Agency admits that COVID vaccine permanently disabled woman. And people are like, see, the vaccine's bad.
Okay.
Just off of a headline, right? Yeah. I didn't go and look up the article, but it was like, who? Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no information on here. It's just very clearly a clickbait, like fake title. But the type of people that believe in that are very headline warriors. They see the headline, like, see, I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
Without noticing that all the headlines are just clickbait to get you to read it and actually find out that, oh, no, that wasn't it.
It's sad because the first time I fully interacted with that type of thing, I guess I probably count actually that my first experience with a flat earther. Yeah. But in the 2020 election, I was still on Facebook before I deleted it for my mental health.
It's good. Smart.
It was like a live election night, live in person. Like my aunt would post, look, in this city or whatever, the elections officials admit that you can't, it was the Sharpie gate, where it's like if you mark with a Sharpie, the machine doesn't count it correctly or something. And then you like click the link that they posted, and it's like you read more than half a paragraph, and it's like, oh, no, they're saying that people allege this, and then it's not true, and here's all the proof of like, actually, if you mark with Sharpie, it still goes through fine. Yeah. It's like your own source.
Self-aware wolves.
Is exactly opposite of what you're trying to use it to prove it. It's sad.
There's a subreddit called Self-Aware Wolves, and it's that. It's people that are like, they're so close to being self-aware, and they post things like that, but they're not there. They get the wrong message from it.
I like that subreddit a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But the problem with that was like by the time I type up like, hey, just so you know, reading your own article, this is actually what it says. I like hit enter on that and then refresh my feed, and there's another post by her with a different conspiracy. And so I was like, okay, let's look at this one. And after like 4 of those, I was like,
you're just is it a joke at this point? Is she doing it on purpose?
I feel like if I posted something like that and someone showed me that it was like maybe incorrect or I missed something, I'd be like, oh shit, maybe I should like be a little more careful. Or if it's like, this is the biggest problem I had with the election thing, where it's like, if you believe like 10 stories about how it's fake or whatever, and then all of those get shown that like, oh, that's actually not true. That's actually not true. Like, I would think you would want to like do some real self-reflection, like shit, like, did I actually care that this proved my point and then it was wrong?
Right, which that was happening a lot, and then fake news. Who cares about fact checkers? Who are they? Who fact checks the checkers? So people could then hide behind their I don't know, theocracies more. have you seen? There's an interview of, I think it was it no, who's the lady from Fox News? She's the blonde hair. Oh, I don't know.
didn't watch it.
Okay, so there's some girl in there, and she's at an event, and a reporter comes up, and she's like, "Hey, so quick question for you. On the right, why is it that there seems to be so many conspiracy theorists? Like, why is it that you guys love your conspiracy theories, and where does that stem from?" And then she goes like, "Well, if you actually think about it, it's the left that has even more conspiracy theories than the right. So you guys are the real conspiracy theorists."
Like what?
And then she's like, "Oh yeah, like what do you mean? What were your thoughts on this?" And she's like, "No, how about you just get that out of my fucking face and quit your bullshit and leaves?" Like immediately child tantrum about it and just can't handle the confrontation and walks away.
Yeah.
It was
because it's got to break your brain a little bit, I feel like.
To go through all that. I don't know.
I saw there's a clip going around of Biden giving some speech. It's not the State of the Union, I don't think.
Yeah.
But he's like talking, and you can hear someone in the like behind the camera. They fall, and like you hear a big thud. And Biden's like, "I just want the media to know that was not me." It's just so funny.
Right.
Oh.
Did you see that Trump live stream watched his State of the Union address? Yeah. I haven't watched it, but I guess he did that, and I would be willing to bet if I went on there, he'd be going like, "All right, let's go, Brandon," and just like,
"Oh, dude, Trump would be a great streamer."
He would be,
like,
right? Yeah, I guess he went and I think somebody probably knows on there where he like what platform he watched it on, and then he made a tweet about it too, about his venture.
Trump posted this on Truth Social.
Okay,
and it just proves that he's so funny. It's the State of the Union.
Yeah.
And he is just throwing on like weird Instagram filters. We can like clip this in probably. But it's just like, God, if there wasn't like a danger of him having power and being the president, he'd just be so funny.
Right. He would. I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why he does so well. Is people don't look at him as far as this could be a leader, but they're like, this is good content.
Yeah. But like, I mean, come on, draw the line.
Yeah. There should be, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't have anything else to say about the state of our country at the moment.
It's going to be, this election, by the way, is going to be the battle of who can convince the most amount of people that the other guy is so old that his mind is like he's going crazy.
Yeah.
Because now I've seen a lot of people posting about like, because this happened last time, right, with Biden. It's like, oh, look, he looks like he's lost, or he's trying to shake someone's hand who's not there. And most of the time you look at it and it's not actually true. Now people are doing the same thing to Trump. So,
well, I shared a video with you the other day that was comparing Obama having a speech versus Trump having a speech about very similar items, and how Obama's was very well articulated, it was very well spoken. It was like an 8-minute little announcement he did, and then Trump's is like, "I need a dog," a very beautiful dog, but it's the exact same type of thing. Hey, we killed this person in this strike, but his is a 47-minute thing of him just being like. There's one point he's like, they went through the windows. You think a normal person would go to the door and be knock, knock, knock?
He's just so dumb.
It's something else. But
when did you send me this?
You didn't see it?
I don't know.
I'm offended. We'll have to watch it.
It's
after
probably
this.
too long, and I clicked it, and I was like, nah.
No, it's like a minute 47. We'll watch it after this. It's so funny.
Okay.
It's so funny. It's pull it up right now. We can tell them where it is to go on there. It's on the snapback.
Okay.
But we'll end you off with this one. So as soon as you finish here, you can then go find this video and just have a good little laugh.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's from 4 years ago. It's from last election.
So it's a minute 25 seconds. It's a mashup on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Trump's al-Baghdadi speech and Obama's Bin Laden speech.
Yeah, I would go ahead and check that one out. It's pretty funny. The kind of correlation between the two of them. Now, I mean, it might be a little biased where they take the best parts and most concise, like, hey, this is the story from Obama, and then they take the ones from Trump that are a little bit more rambly. But the fact that there's the rambly bit in there is the important part, you know?
I think it's totally fair to be like, oh, you know, this could be clipped Trump out of that. But you should also think the same way the other direction, which I know most people don't.
Mm.
So I like to think I'm fair.
Mm.
And I'll just go through. I'm like, oh, yeah, either I'll look at the original video and be like, oh, yeah, that was really dumb with Biden. Or like, yeah, that makes him look bad. Oh, hey, guess what? He's like fucking old. Yeah, look at both.
Yeah.
Look at both. But I don't understand how you could watch 5 full minutes of Trump and not think he's dumb. He says so, like, ignore the fact that he tried to Sharpie on a map to illustrate how he didn't get something wrong about a hurricane's trajectory.
Right. Or
instead of just admitting like, oh, hey, yeah, I messed up. It's actually only going to affect this area.
What's the thing where he made a false tweet about government secrets being released recently, or a false comment? Did you hear about that?
There's too many.
Yeah, there's too much going on. There's so much we can get into, but we're at our time limit here. What do you mean? We still have them like right here, both of us. We have on air and ginger snaps.
Looking like a snack.
Yeah. Ow. Ow.
Well,
so with that one, we'll go and let Buddy send you off.
What do I send off? How do I send them? Thanks for watching, listening, subscribing, liking, tweeting, Discording, Patreoning.
Okay. Patroning?
Patronizing us.
Yeah.
Thanks for patronizing us. We really appreciate it.
You're the best.
Yeah. Today's episode was fun. It's good extra content. It was nice and long. If you like long things, not everyone does.
It's not the size that matters, but this one was jam packed.
It was.
This one made you finished wanting more. You know.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you wanted to come back for seconds and thirds.
But
the Patreon episode we're talking about. Yeah,
all the links and stuff below. Give us a like. Tell someone about us. Someone that you care about. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Oh, hey!
I need to know.
Solace. I feel like a wandering wretch that needs to be quelled before I can finally rest. A restless spirit. And this is my rest. This is where I die. The part of you that knows me anyway. I'll still be here. Maybe even you can become friends with the real me. But this part of me dies here. So I may as well tell you the story.